Hi, I'm Jim Jordan speaking to you from Ashland, Oregon. And today I want to talk to you about probably the most common type of case that I get coming to my office. And it's something that's very familiar to me because I experienced it myself, more than 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So a lot of my clients, whether they come to my office in person or I find out about them through the internet and they call me, we do phone consultations, are suffering from a combination of syndrome that's called chronic fatigue syndrome or something called fibromyalgia, where they have chronic pain in their body. And usually there's some degree of both of these conditions people are experiencing when they contact me. So symptoms could be just always being exhausted, depression, achiness in the body, poor digestion, foggy head, they can't think clearly, poor memory, lack of motivation. They get sick often, flus or colds, respiratory problems, constipation, all this stuff. And I know this very well from the 80s, around 1983. I suffered from this myself for 6 years approximately until I got my health better. And that launched me into a new direction for my career. So if you're suffering from some combination of chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia, this little video clip is for you. So what I want to do is basically explain that there are basic underlying causes behind these conditions. It's rarely, if ever, in your head entirely. I mean, there's a part of the condition that certainly is related to depression and worry and anxiety and grief. So that's not to be ignored, but it's not primary in the vast majority of cases. Primarily, the person is very toxic. A lot of toxic chemicals and metals have accumulated. For a variety of reasons, some people are more able to or less able to clear chemical and heavy metal toxins than others. So for certain people, they accumulate in the tissues, in the organs, in the glands. They suppress the function of those organs and glands. They suppress the immune system, and a person starts to get run down. The nervous system can be affected by these toxic chemicals and metals, and they start a downward spiral. If in that downward spiral you get medical treatment with drugs and medications, it'll just aggravate things eventually because they don't address the causes. So in addition to toxic chemicals and heavy metals, we're going to have nutrient deficiencies. A lot of people either don't have sufficient nutrition in their diet, they don't digest their food properly and absorb the nutrients. If they're taking supplements, often the supplements are not available to the cells, their body can't absorb the supplements, they're not in the right form, so they're nutrient deficient. So this combination of nutrient deficiency and toxicity are the 1-2 combination that sets a person up for this chronic fatigue fibromyalgia condition. And on top of that, if you have stresses in your life, emotional stresses that are not cleared, or ongoing chronic stress, then it's going to make it worse. So what I do in my practice is I address underlying causation, which means initially to get the diet correct for you. Everybody's diet should be unique to their own system, so it's not that one diet works for everybody, but there are certain recipes and food combinations and ways to prepare food that are going to optimize your ability to absorb the nutrients from it. So starting with diet and then looking at environmental toxins that you could be exposed to, working on a detoxification protocol. Normally that has 3 stages. Liver, get the liver working better. There's different protocols and formulas that I use in my practice to get a person's liver working more efficiently to clear toxins. Getting their intestines regulated, their intestinal flora better regulated would be the next step. Clearing the yeast and candida and parasite infections. And then also starting to chelate or pull out heavy metals and chemicals from the body, from the cells, from the organs, from the glands, from the tissues, so those organs start to work better, they start to function better. So my experience has been very good with this program. Personally, that's how I recovered. This is how I work with people, and if people, my clients, follow through on the program, even just 80 to 90%, they're going to start to make progress very quickly, usually within several months. So if this is something that applies to you, this talk, feel free to call me at 541-482-2250. And I offer a free 15-minute consultation to anybody just so I can give you more details about and learn a little bit more about your situation, and I can see if I can help you and you see if you think I'm the person to help you. You can also visit my website to see my newsletters and video blogs, other video blogs, and my information about my practice, and that's www.createvibrant.health.com. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and wishing you a great day.